Hi everyone, good evening. Today I want to discuss with us on another important topic, which is titled Don't Lose Momentum. I repeat, don't lose momentum in business. You see, when you start a business, no matter how knowledgeable you may be, before you get into that business, you will find out that some of your preconceptions are wrong, and you may have to change certain ways you attempt to do that business. You may need to tweak some processes. You may make little mistakes which you correct upon, and then you gain experience. Over time, the business becomes very, very successful. There is a way you can go straight into the business and you would not make mistakes. The bottom point in this is that you become very successful, and then you gain experience on recruitment, experience on value engineering, experience in different areas and processes that has to do with the business. And then you develop what is called an antenna. That antenna is a skill whereby you can think within few seconds on the direct path to take in any particular factor of that business that comes up, be it in the way a new idea you want to discuss with your worker or any of the business processes. A business have different departments and different pathways that come together to make the business either provide effective services or produce effective goods and deliver them to the end users or consumers. Over time, your antenna becomes very, very active. Now, where the momentum comes in this, when you get to that business highway where you are cruising at a high altitude and speed, it is expected that you do not, because of a certain level of success which you might have attained in that business, begin to slow down. What will happen is this: the momentum that you have slowed down initially may not really affect your productivity, but in the long run may reach a critical stage where it may start in one way or the other affecting the long-term productivity of the business. For instance, the intensity of your supervisory team, the intensity of your watching the details, the intensity of your cold calling, the intensity of negotiation, the intensity of follow-ups, the intensity of research and development, the intensity of training and retraining, the intensity of cutting costs, the intensity of reinvesting, the intensity of watching your bottom line. You have to keep the pace and momentum of all the variables that comes together to make a delicious pot of soup, which is that business. And the only thing you need to do is to take the game higher, is to continue to invest in the human resources that will take the company to the next succession phase, or in the current resources to continue propelling the business to advance and higher levels. What we have is when we see CEOs or business directors or managers or founders or co-founders having found themselves in pools of cash flows, business successes, begins to go for too many trips, too many vacations, too many parties, too many lavish occasions, too many places they go, and then they fail. They begin to remove their legs from the throttle that is powering the decisions of that company. Well, I understand sometimes after a period of long effort you want to cool off, but the thing is this: if you get to a point where you want to cool off, it's time for you to start building a new set of persons who understands the business the way you understand it. You pass them through the phases that you have passed through. You make them understand the company mission and vision. You pass them through those vigorous processes. You duplicate yourself in them. You can have like 2 or 3 potential CEOs. You can call them, give them different names, but you know that if you're not there, you want to go for a long period, this person can play this role, this other person can play the same role, this person can also play the same role. While you play a supervisory role from where you are, over time you can even build a supervisor and then re-strategize, reconstruct the system in such a way that it can still exist even if you are far away. So don't lose momentum in business. I want to buttress this point with a story which was told by Donald Trump in one of his books. Donald Trump talked about a man he knows, and he sold his company. He sold his company for a huge amount of money, and then after maybe some years or months, the man maybe became bored and started missing the business. And the people he sold the company to were not really doing well. And then he came and bought back that company. By the time he bought back that company, for him to start, he realized that he could not replicate that success the streaks of success he was attaining before he sold the company. And then Donald Trump said, this man confessed to him and said he has lost momentum. A lot of things he has lost, because one thing is this: in a business industry, new ideas come up, new events come up, new possibilities come up. When you stop, after a while, if you come back, a lot of things has passed under the bridge. You do not have a grasp of them. And for you to move forward, you need to have a good knowledge, first-hand knowledge or contact with so many of those factors or variables. What that man would have done was to grow a succession plan, develop a succession plan, and put people who are there. Larry Page and Sergey Brin are no longer in charge of the day-to-day activities of Google. But is Google still waxing stronger? Yes. Why? Because they had a succession plan. Steve Jobs died many years ago, but Apple grew bigger, far bigger than what it was during the time of Steve Jobs. Why? Because of a succession plan. Is Bill Gates still CEO of Microsoft? No, even Steve Ballmer is no longer there, but Microsoft is still waxing strong. Why? Because of a succession plan. There's a good succession plan is very important because it helps so that the business will not lose its momentum. Because momentum and speed are very, very crucial parts in the success of a business. I believe this business principle is well understood. It's actually majorly for those in the medium and large scale businesses. You've grown your business so big and you want to pull off your leg, want to leave the pull out and then reduce momentum. It may hamper the long-term growth of that business. What you need to start doing is to have a succession plan. If you want more advice or more suggestions on how to run your business or new business ideas, feel free to contact me. My name is Amota Chukwudi. Thank you and God bless.